Well, hello, ladies. Gosh, I'm so excited for tonight. We have an amazing webinar for you tonight with one of my favorite people. My gosh, I'm such a big fan of Ajita Shah. And tonight is all about awakening your intuition, the inner path to success. And I'm just a big believer in, the power of our intuition and women using that to tap into to create extraordinary lives. So I'm going to introduce our amazing instructor for tonight, and then I'm going to let her take it away. Ajita Shah is a holistic psychologist, spiritual teacher, and founder of OmniSource, with over 3 decades of experiences helping women heal from the inside out. As a master energy healer and consciousness mentor, she empowers purpose-driven women to transform their lives, awaken their intuition, and grow soul-aligned businesses. Ajita has worked with clients across the globe, blending ancient wisdom with practical tools to help them heal trauma, embody wealth consciousness, and live their highest potential. She is also the country chair for Canada for Eligos. Did I say that
Eligos?
right? Eligos, okay. Global platform for women's leadership and empowerment. So please welcome our amazing instructor for this evening, Ajita Shah.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. That was very kind. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm very excited. I'm here to talk about one of my absolute favorite topics. So here we are. I know everybody's busy, but you've taken the time to attend this webinar. And my intention is to provide you with really life-changing information. My intention here is to provide an experiential webinar, and I would like to allow for Q&A at the end because nothing teaches better than real life examples. So please write down any questions that you might have, and we will address them at the end of my little talk. So let me begin by asking all of you, how often have you found yourself saying, I wish I had listened to my gut. Oh, gee, that feeling, I knew it. I should have listened to myself. Right? I think it's all of us. Through our lives, we take a decision, there's something else that's calling us, and then we are like, oops, you go listen to something else and you think, I knew it. There was this really strong feeling. And this is, that little small voice or that little birdie that some people call. And that's our intuition, our soul voice. You're all born with it, but often you shut it down because of your experiences and what you may be taught at home, school, or even society. Now, before I dive in, I'll introduce myself. I'm sorry, I prepared this. This is going to be in addition to what Charla said. But I'm a spiritual healer and a teacher, and I've worked with energy since I was 4 years old. I have a master's degree in psychology, but I'm fully immersed in spirituality and healing. I have been privy to be able to see my past lives, and I have served even in those lives in a very similar way that I am doing now. And I have translated that inherited knowledge into a unique modality that I call OmniSource. And for the last 35 years, I have used this ancient wisdom that I've brought with myself and my deep intuitive and psychic abilities to work on my mission, that is, to awaken humanity to its divinity in everyday life. I work one-on-one with clients to help them eliminate their inherent, what I call karmic soul print, which I consider to be the root cause of all difficulties in everybody's life, whether it is financial, health, relationship, or anything else. I offer programs and workshops to a wider audience where I share my wisdom and tools that I believe are life-changing. I also run a weekly healing and awakening circle. It is free to join. It's called Becoming Unlimited. Now, in my career, I've had the privilege to help people walk away from a hospital bed overnight and avoid scheduled surgery that was scheduled for the morning. I worked on innumerable cases of critical health conditions that doctors have said were incurable. Women have had babies against all odds. Addicts, in fact, I was working with a lady, she had been, you know, on very hard drugs for 42 years. And she kicked that habit, in a very short period of time. A struggling voiceover artist signed 6 movies within 4 months. A woman who was under psychiatric care for 12 years and had received 18 electric shocks was unrecognizable within a week, actually, or within a month, I beg your pardon. And then I have a client who was being sued by TD Bank, for anybody who's Canadian here. But within 3 months, TD walked away from the case. A young client in London, England, who was suffering from autoimmune hepatitis, was taken off her meds about 2 months ago. And of course, that took about 18 months of work, but her diabetes and anxiety was healed in a much shorter time. Now, this list is humbling. And actually, I have many, many clients like that. But I share this with you because I want to show you that when you heal your deep-seated wounds, everything becomes possible. When you learn to work with energy, you become unlimited. My entire practice is based on intuition and being psychic. And I think we all have those abilities, in varying degrees perhaps, but definitely, we're all born with intuition. And, there's so much knowledge that is esoteric, that is hidden. And we have the capacity to dive into it, and we must learn how we could do that. So today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, which is our superpower, intuition, and why it is important, how we can awaken it, and how it is our guide for success in all aspects of life. And if you're not using your intuitive abilities, you're doing yourself a huge disservice and to the life of your dreams. Now, you might recall stories of Albert Einstein, Madame Curie, Newton, and so many other geniuses who were hit by inspiration all of a sudden out of the blue. And boom, they had an answer that, they had been working on. Edison, I think, did what, 10,000 bulbs. And, if you're stuck, then that inspiration will bring you the answers. In recent times, there's Henry Ford, Steve Jobs, who's very openly credited intuition to problem solving, creative ideas, and growing these very large businesses. And this inner truth and knowing is accessible to each and every one of us, whether you believe it or not. Now, over the years, I have learned to really only listen to my intuition. All of my decision making comes from my intuition. I use my mind and intellect only to strategize and create action steps to follow on that guidance and the path my intuition has already provided me. So the results I achieve that by just tapping into that are really mind-blowing. So I'd like to share an example right off the bat. Many years ago, well, I was to meet a friend in a different city. I was in India at the time. And, and then together we had to go somewhere. So we had to hop on a plane together. He had booked his ticket a long time ago. I had to book mine. So all I wanted to do was get on that aircraft so that we could fly together and get to wherever we were going together. Most of the flight was full. So, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to sit together? But obviously that's not going to happen. I didn't ask for his seat number. I thought that would be impolite. And I just went ahead and I found a middle seat towards the front of the plane. I booked it. I met my friend at the airport. We were, busy chatting. We didn't try to figure out who was sitting where. And then as we were walking, I realized that we kept walking towards the same space. And then he looks over at me. He says, "Where are you sitting?" And I pointed to the middle seat and I said, "Where are you sitting?" And he said, "The window seat." We were sitting next to each other. And that I thought was pretty mind blowing. And this happens almost every time. I have thousands of examples to share. But every time it happens, I'm still in awe and in utter gratitude. I can't seem to take this for granted. And, as I speak right now, I have goosebumps. Now, I personally use my intuition for every big and small decision because I feel that is where the true answers to my life, my success lie. Now, let's dive into what this is. Each one of us have at some point lost car keys and you would be looking for them. What is the process? You're, trying to remember where you may have left them. You're talking to family members. You're probably getting upset. But, it's that upsetness really becomes a block to your energy. And there's no way to be able to get intuitive answers. What I really suggest is to stop, to feel into that object or the thing that you're trying to find. It has a language, it has a frequency, and it has a way to connect with you, or you have a way to connect with it. And you'll be surprised, and if you haven't already done this, how easy it is to find answers, or especially an object, because it's got a solid presence. It's not esoteric. Now let's dive right into the reasons why this innate ability that we're born with, that we perhaps lose it. Now, intuition is the language of energy. It's not of words. Now, how wonderful would it be that if every time you needed to take a decision, you got a phone call, an email, or a text message telling you what exactly to do? Okay, we'll settle for a little whisper in our ear. But sadly, intuition speaks to us in feelings, in signs and synchronicities. And it is up to us to understand what those feelings and signs mean. Some of those may be generic, but most of the times it is unique. That message is unique to you and to your journey, because you are asking for yourself. And only you can figure out what that message perhaps means for you. Now, once you spend enough time, it becomes easier and easier to listen and understand. But that also requires trust. Your intuition, or that nudge that you feel. How many times do you feel it in your heart space? Or, and you might end up saying something like, "My heart says I should do this," or "My heart says I should go there." Some people feel it as a vibration in the gut stomach area. And we call it, I have a gut feeling. Now, this energy kind of translates into an inner voice. And that becomes louder and bolder with time as you play with it. Your intuition may come through images, flashes in your head, and they may be momentary, but as you practice this, you can catch it. And then that energy kind of distills into bigger and broader pictures. Now, you have all had such experiences. And no matter how logical, left-brained, or a non-believer you might be, this is a universal experience. And each one of you might label it differently. But the meaning and result is always the same. Now, most people are afraid to be intuitive because they don't even have the words to comfortably convey what is this intuition. So you don't talk about it. Maybe, you live in a place or work in a place where this is taboo. It's all about the brain work. And if you don't talk about it, and if you don't have language to describe it, then you will learn to ignore it. And then finally, it will disappear. Now let's look at a few main reasons why intuition shuts down. Society and family play a very big part. The fact is, you're born with a very strong intuition. So why then does it diminish or even shut down? Mostly because you're not allowed to use it. And do what your inner voice is telling you. Often it goes against what your family expects from you. And especially as kids, you're told what to do. You're never asked. And if you express yourself, you're most likely told, stop, do as I say. And free thinkers upset the status quo. They go against the beliefs of a family, of society. And that is scary and not very welcome. So you begin to shut that down. How often have you wanted to, let's say, learn dance, but your parents thought sports is the way, or, is the profession or the extracurricular activity that you should go into? Or you want to study the arts, but they think you should be a doctor. And you're discouraged because maybe they think that your choices are seemingly risky, not lucrative, or, so many other reasons. Maybe you have to follow the legacy of your family and parents. And so many times parents, knowingly or unknowingly, live vicariously through their children. There are so many reasons why you suppress that innate ability and begin to use outside influences and only logic to lead your life. It's a way to be common and sane. And society really feels safe in that space. Outliers, unique thinkers, healers are often threatening and so many times rejected. Yet, every time you listen to your soul, it brings joy and it brings success. Whether it is in deciding, whether you should marry this person or not, what field of education to go in, what business to pursue, should you go into a job, should you move to another city. Now, majority of the women here, I'm sure, are outliers and resonate with what I'm saying. Now, when you begin to listen to this little voice, trust becomes a really big factor. When you live in your current reality and listen to outside influences and not your gut, you don't have a full picture of your highest good. How many times have you felt this intuitive hit, a guidance of some sort, taking you in one direction. You felt it, but you didn't trust it. And so you don't follow that guidance. And until you trust it, and until you own it, it can't help you. It just can't. Unless you trust your spirit, or what we call the higher self or the expanded consciousness, you will stay in the same place or regret some of the decisions that you make. But whatever you do, you have to be willing to trust that inner compass that's working for you, that's giving you information that isn't apparent on the surface, but it's real, it's authentic, it's true, and it's opening a door that didn't exist earlier, or it's providing better options for you. So here is what I suggest. It's a great place to start if you don't already play with energy. Practice asking. If you have a problem to solve, if you have a decision to make, sit with it, ask. And practice expressing your vibe or whatever intuitive hit you get. Tell people, tell them, I'm getting a gut feeling. Be open to say, I trust my intuition. It works for me. Because this way, you are connecting with that part of you. You are allowing it to surface. And you're telling yourself, I'm listening. Now, instead of thinking, sort of flip that narrative and don't wait. What do? We seek validation. We seek people's permission because we live with them. They exert some influence on us. And we wait for their permission. Maybe you won't get it. This is in regards to the intuitive hit you're getting, which may be different from what is expected of you. And then you get scared. And there will be some people who will just say, I'm going to go for it. Or there will be people in your life who will say, trust your vibe, trust what you feel, trust that inner guidance. I'm standing with you. I believe in you. Now, intuition is a feeling that actually won't go away. It will keep nudging you because your soul is who you are. It knows everything about you. So breathe and smile. Own what you feel and step into that guidance and that path that is going to lead into your future. Control it because it is your show. It is your life. And begin to make bold decisions for yourself. Be your own authority. Give yourself permission to go with the inner guidance and give yourself permission to be uncomfortable, even if it disrupts people and they raise their eyebrows and they might look at you suspiciously. But eventually, you know what? They will respect you when they see that your decisions have actually worked out for you. In fact, I have seen so many times they will come to you for advice because they feel that they have something that you have something that they probably don't. And I promise you that. Now, the other thing that really blocks the intuition is overthinking, fear, lack of faith in yourself. Now, intuition lives in the soul, and our fears live in our mind, and mostly the mind wins. Now, what's the number one reason you cannot hear your intuition? It's because there's too much noise. I've had so many students say, oh, I can't see what you're asking me to see, or I can't hear myself in my intuition. And they think they don't have the skills or the sensitivity, but they're wrong because they do. And the problem is not that they don't have the ability, it is that they're surrounded by too much internal and external noise. Overthinking, anxiety, worry, fear, planning, strategizing, being angry and upset. You know, maybe you have an upsetting conversation with somebody and then it's going through your head and you're thinking, oh, I should have said that and I didn't say that. And why did they say this? And things like that. And all of that is unnecessary. That is noise. And overthinking also makes it hard for us to make decisions. And we become very poor listeners. And we end up thinking, I'm right. And this noise, they are stressors. They create blocks in visualization, which is a very important part of connecting with your intuition. It's hard to sense energy if you're always in your mind, if you're always thinking. Am I right? Now, there's nothing wrong with using your brain. In fact, it's very important. Thinking is great, but you want to balance intuition with your thinking. Tell yourself that instead of spending your time balancing pros and cons, what's right and what's wrong, you must start balancing intuition with your thinking. Bring in that additional aspect because balanced thinking has huge benefits. It gives you real clarity. And working with both together, you will get new ideas and unexpected opportunities will come your way. Now, at times when I get stuck with a question or a problem, I step back. Most of the times we're used to forcing a solution. You're trying to think of different ways and you're researching Google, talking to people because you're trying to come up with a solution. But if you just relax, take a step back, let go of the urgency, the answer will magically appear. And like I was telling you about all of these famous people, there are stories that's what happened with them. They like kind of almost gave up and boom, there was the answer. And when your mind is balanced and clutter free, you can actually sense that energy. Now, after that, what is the next big step? Faith, faith in self, and courage to go in the direction that you're guided. Now, if you ignore your intuition and take the logical path, you will accept the suggestions that maybe other people that you trust are offering you. And they may not lead you to the right path for your highest good. It's not that they don't have your best interest at heart, because I'm sure they do. But your life is different. Your life path, they're not privy to. You are. So your intuition is more on point. Now, how much time do we have? Okay, let's do an exercise. And this is really something that I do when my head is all very cluttered. Imagine, close your eyes, please. And imagine that your head is like an inverted bottle and it's filled with liquid, water. Now, imagine that level of water And this water is this clutter in your mind, all the things that are happening. So connect with that water as being the clutter. Now open, like almost open a tap and let the water level decrease inside your head. And if you want, you can let that water kind of spill out of your ears and let your head become completely empty. Do you feel a little calmer? Do you feel a little relaxed? Does that fight reduce a little bit in your head? I'm going to continue. Now it's important to understand body awareness and the spirit connection. If you're new to energy work, maybe you're willing to look at it and explore it, and maybe you're feeling stuck in life and you need a powerful change. Or perhaps here you're a seasoned practitioner, you're just wanting to hone your skills. Or maybe you're just skeptic and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing here, right? But let's do another exercise. Close your eyes, please, and connect your heart with the hearts of everyone who's present here today. Take your time, there's no hurry. If you want, you can imagine like a cord from your heart going into 12 different hearts. And once you connect, sense every tiny sensation that you might feel. Any thought that you pick up, any feelings. Pay attention. Do you feel connected? Did you pick up any messages, however small? You may feel the joy or the pain of somebody. You may pick up some of their thoughts. This is great. Now you can use this technique to interact in other situations beyond this webinar. When you focus your attention on people or problems, and just focus your attention without an expectation of an answer or anything, you're just zooming in on it, you'll make enormous headway in receiving the answers. Your job in this life is really to transfer this non-physical energy, thoughts and ideas and consciousness into your physical world. And the best way to begin to get connected is through a practice like this and through regular stillness, meditation, body awareness, practices like yoga, sports, dancing, they help tremendously because they will connect your physical body to the divine matrix. Now, how do you cultivate intuition, you might wonder? Say you're searching for a lost wallet, and if you don't find it quickly, it might be very frustrating. And a lot of people become very negative and upset because they want to find it right away. They want the answer right away. And you know what? Often within a short period of time, you'll probably find it because your energy and those things, they're familiar with each other. And the space is defined, and you have done it before. But working in the quantum field and searching the esoteric requires more practice. More so because the answers are not concrete. They may show up as a random text message. Somebody sends you, and there's an answer to your question. A passage you read, some words you hear, a song, anything. And then you have to put it in context to you and your circumstances. And that requires courage, courage to accept what is provided and decipher that feeling, which either says yes or no. There are many energy tools that will help you awaken and enhance your intuition. And I will share all of those in the upcoming workshop. And you will get to experience all of them. But here's another quick technique for you to try. You know, well, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Think back to when you're desiring an object, a thing. Parking space is a big one. You're in a hurry and you want that light to be green so you're not stopped. You know, when you want these things to happen, feel in and learn to ask. Ask the quantum field, ask the universe, your angels, whatever. And that thing will show up. You know, over the years, because I've done this so much, I've learned to play with weather. I have interesting stories about literally changing weather in real time to suit my circumstances, and it has never failed me. You know, you can manipulate time to suit your schedule. You're running late. You only have 20 minutes and you have a 40-minute drive, but somehow you make it on time, right? The more you play with energy, the more you ask, the more you tap in, you begin developing a relationship with the quantum field, source energy, universal energy, whatever you want to call it. And you start to listen, and its messages become louder. Now, keep in mind, intuition and sensing energy, they require deep listening. Trust, patience, as I said. Sensing. Don't be stressed. You don't have to have a perfect track record. You don't have to be really good at it before you start indulging yourself. Just start here, now, today. And, you know, you'll find new awareness, and things will come to you pretty quickly. I mean, it's so much fun. Now, a tool to help with intuition is to have clean and clear energy. You know, when we go about our lives, airports, buses, conferences, or even large offices, doesn't even have to be large. You know, we interact with people, we interact with their energy. And we take that on, we absorb those energies, and often they're not good. I'll tell you, on Sunday, I had gone for a comedy show in Scotiabank Arena, and there were 13,000 people there. Now, I spend a lot of my energy and time. I have a lot of tools and techniques because I'm always in energy work mode to protect myself. And yet, at the end of 3 hours, as I was driving back, I got sick in the car, and I was sick through the night. Then I had to heal and cleanse and do all of that. And so, I was better in the morning. And that really applies to all of us. I knew this. There are so many people who don't know this. So what happens? They continue to be sick for a very long time. So two things are imperative: calling your energy and grounding yourself. Grounding you must do every single day. There are many, many different ways of doing it. I'm sure a lot of you do it, but I'm going to talk about the easiest way. Imagine, source white light running through your body, cleansing all your energy centers, your chakras, your aura, all of your energy bodies, and it's clearing it, taking away the gunk, and you're shimmering with that beautiful light. And let it pass through your legs, your feet, go into the center of Mother Earth. In that magma, let it burn, and then pick up the beautiful light and energy, nurturing and powerful energy of Mother Earth. Let it come up through the earth, through the ground, your feet, up your legs, up your spine, and go back up to meet source energy. So then you are connected with the sky and with the ground, and you're really grounded. And you will immediately feel the difference if and when you do that. Well, I think, running out of time, so I won't share some of the examples that, that I experience when I'm ungrounded. But, some of these things, this is all about playing with energy. It's all about playing with your innate self and connecting, right? I'm wondering, what should I do? Charlotte, we have 10 minutes left. Should we do a Q&A, or should we? I have a little bit more to share, but I thought I'd finish early, and I was just trying to really go through it quickly, but.
Totally, whatever you want to do, Ajita, we're here for the ride.
Okay, so we don't have to, people willing to. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ali. I'm here. I am here as well. Okay, great. So then let's talk about how to access this universal energy. Before I go, am I making sense? Is this too fast, too slow? Everything's going well? Thank you. Okay. Now, like I said, we're interacting with the quantum field. Everything conceivable and billion times more is available in this space, right? All the information is here. Much more than Google and all the books and ChatGPT and just all of that, right? And it's actually within us, because our soul has had many births, many lifetimes, and all that wisdom we have amassed, we have within us. And the soul has this incredible ability, because it's a part of the quantum field, to stay connected, right? So everything is inside us. And we are energetically connected to the quantum field, but when we become aware of it, it becomes really powerful. It becomes like a relationship. You know, the stars, the galaxies, they have infinite knowledge, and we are made up of the same stuff, you know? And all of this is beyond time and space. We know that time and space, this whole linear way of looking at things, is a very earth thing. Beyond the earth, everything happens simultaneously, and we have the ability and the capacity to tap into anything that happened yesterday, long time ago, or the future. It's only now that we actually live in. So what we need to do is we need to open ourselves up this heart space and tap into this field. Connect, be still, ask. And when you receive, be aware of it. Every answer you seek, every permutation, combination, and billions of options are available to you. And sometimes you might have to decide before you start asking, what is it that you really want? Having clarity is very important because the universe is saying it's all for you, you know, and you can't leave it to the universe and say, give me something. Then you probably get something that you're not very happy with. So have clarity when you connect. And that clarity work, you know, is a whole different a practice, you know, but so I'm not really going to touch upon it here. Now, if you see yourself as a standalone being, which, you know, a lot of us think, I'm this human body, I'm this person, this is my life, this is my world, this is my family, this is my job, and you're separate and you're mind oriented. And then you shut down this inner voice. It'll still speak to you, but you might not hear it, or you choose not to hear it. And when you deliberately connect, sit in silence, you know, it's not, there aren't 7 million ways of doing it. Connecting in stillness and silence with clear energy, with clear mind. You know, you'll hear words like download. You can download books, you can download, you know, so many things once you learn to connect, right? Because like I said, we're connected, it's like a second skin to us. It's always responding, always giving, always replying without condition and exception. You know, there's a word in Sanskrit, it's called tathastu. And tathastu means so be it. It's a lot like amen, I think, if I'm not wrong. And basically, the universe is always in a state of tathastu, unconditionally, constantly giving you what you desire. You just have to be in that space to receive, right? So, in conclusion, you know, begin working with some of these tools. I know they're very basic, but still they're very powerful, a lot of fun, and it's very natural to us. You know, when you're tuning into something, what you're doing is you're amplifying it. Now, oftentimes we amplify a lot of negativity. You know, you're angry with somebody, you're feeling cheated, or, you know, you're feeling like you don't have enough money, life is not going your way. That's what we consume ourselves with. And, you know, without getting into the whole principle of manifestation, but we get more of that, right? Because the universe is in that space of tathastu. So when we cleanse our energy, when we become more positive, when we become more hopeful, when we have more faith, and we open ourselves up, then that inner compass will always come through for you. And you end up living an authentic, empowered, and really joyful life instead of just being like a sheep and being pushed around by everybody. And, today the collective is all about terrible geopolitics and wars, and, such terrible things are happening. We have to separate ourselves from all of that. I always say, nobody is asking me for my opinion. I'm unnecessarily dropping it in there. Instead, if I stay in a positive frame of mind and give love, especially to the people who are probably causing problems, and if each one of us does that, I think we can reduce the negativity, right? Now, let me quickly go over, I think I've been through the fundamentals, but I'll just run through that one more time. Be open, be like a receiver, right? Receive the energy, enhance your perception, expand your senses, feel into the energy, and through all of your senses, right? And expect to be guided, to receive the input, the most relevant input. Dial in. Let your intuition come through, right? It's your inner teacher, it's your inner light, it's your true self. But that's not enough. When you pick up on something, you must tune in, dial in, listen, and act on it, right? These waves and this broadcast, it's meant for you. And it'll change your life. Now, you'll feel liberated, expansive, and it'll be a brand new way of being, right? Now, before I go again, I'm going to say, really do the exercise of who do you want to be? What's working, what's not working, what do you want? Because, like I said, it's all available to you. If you tune into the wrong frequency, then you're going to get the wrong messages. Okay? Look at your life. Are you happy with your life? Do you have what you want? Are you doing a good job? Are you excited to get up and live your day? Are you laughing a lot? Are you feeling creative? Are you connecting to the things that are really the best for you? Do you feel like you're living your best life? Or are you living somebody else's life? And, this is an invitation for you to toggle your insides and give yourself permission to follow your heart, trust your inner voice, trust your intuition. And I'm encouraging you to do something radically different. Don't wait for other people to give you permission. Find your inner voice and go with it. Be willing to hear a no. If you ask for something and, maybe the answer is no, don't marry this person or don't take this job. And you have to have the courage and the strength to say, I had my heart set on that, but okay, I'm going to listen to you, right? Now, people are not used to being bold, self-directed. So, don't be scared. Just have fun with it. Now, today I wasn't able to even scratch the surface of what is in the full day workshop. It's loaded with knowledge. It's 6 hours, practical tools, lots and lots of takeaways, and a chance to channel the great divine wisdom through yourself. And I hope you will enroll. And I hope I will have a chance to work with each and every one of you on September 13th. I've tried to make it as easy as possible to join it, the regular price for it, at least from a pricing perspective, right? I think we're going to have a lot of fun, but it's regularly I charge $4.99, but for this, our lovely one woman tribe, it's 133 Canadian dollars. If you have any questions, any concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. I would be more than happy to answer your questions. Lots of love and many blessings from me. Thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate you all.
Thank you, Ajita. That was brilliant. I think I could listen to your voice like all day. You just got this calming presence. I was kind of half, playing here a little too relaxed, but yeah, I loved all of it. We have time. Like, I don't have anywhere I got to be running to. So, does anybody have questions of what you just experienced, what you listened, what came up for you, even in those exercises? Anything you want to share? Yeah, I just want to open this space up that if anybody has any questions or about the workshop, like, is it much like this, or is there going to be like exercises and applying it? Is it more interactive? Maybe
Very
speak to that.
experiential, Charla. It will be. So were you able to share the link, hon?
Yeah, I put the link in the chat. Did everybody see it? I see Zoom has changed the look of chat, so I just want to make sure. Did everybody see
Yeah,
the link? No?
I don't
Oh,
see
God.
it at my
Oh, you
end.
know what? It just went to you. So let me see if I can change. Oh, everyone. Here we go. Yeah, Zoom changed things again. So let me.
I know technology is tough, but I've sort of divided into 4 different sections. Each section, I'm going to tackle something very specific. There's going to be a lot of tools, techniques that you're actually going to practice. There's going to be lectures, but I want to sort of uh, make it really experiential. And there's going to be Q&A, and it's going to just be Ali, you asked, so it's a virtual workshop. It will be online on the 13th of September, and I've done these before, so it's almost like being there. It's a lot of fun. People love it, and I think if all of you join, then you're going to love it too.
Tina has a question then. Go ahead, Tina.
Hi, thank you so much for the talk of the evening. It's been incredible. So thank you for all you do. I'm really curious when you speak about being open and like abundance, and it's just I guess my question is that it might be another step that when you're open and then the universe kind of opens and you feel like a sense of abundance, like there's so much out there, there's a natural tendency for overwhelm. Um, so how do you work with that? How do you recognize that? Or is it just a matter of sitting silent and just allowing your intuition to guide you? Um, so I guess my question is like when you're open and then there's an abundance to things just coming your way, how do you manage the overwhelm that follows that to direct you with your true intuition?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Tina, because there's also, you have to, like when I said protection, because in this space, there is positive and there is negative energies as well, and they could come through. Well, you're not bringing them into your energy. Luckily, you're trying to connect, but you could connect with the wrong energies. That's why protection grounding becomes very important. When you have weak energy, then these entities tend to grasp and grab onto you, and it's very, very depleting. um, I think at the beginning it's hard to open yourself in a way that you got a deluge. But even if you're getting, 5, 10 different messages come through, it could be overwhelming because you're trying to sift and sort. But the best thing to do is to sit in silence, look at each thing that comes through. And one is going to be more pertinent for you in that moment than the others. So you don't have to receive everything that comes through. Just receive what you want. And if none of that is pertinent for the moment and something else is showing up, because like I said, clarity, I started this talking about healing. When we're not healed, we have a lot of stuff to clear. And that becomes a hindrance in developing our intuition, because there's pain and there's wounding and there's bitterness and there's all of that. And, so the way I sort of tell my clients, imagine this is your soul and you've carried it lifetime after lifetime, and it's got a lot of stuff. Now, your light, ideally, this should be brighter than the sun, because that's who you are. But oftentimes what happens, your light is like here, like a pilot light. Because through every lifetime, that the trauma that you've collected has gone and sat in your soul, and it has covered your light. Your intuition is a part of your light. So in my work, the biggest thing that I do is remove one piece at a time, this stuff, so that this light then becomes bigger and bigger, brighter and brighter. And you come into your being. So unfortunately, there's no short, quick answer to your question. Very valuable question, but there are many steps that we have to see. We're a holistic being, and we have many parts to us that interact with each other constantly, right? And we can't do one thing without touching something else, positively or upsetting it, for that matter. You might scratch a wound that might make you feel a little upset. But to answer your question, for the purposes of developing the intuition, sit still and just accept what you want. And if not, let it all go and start the process again. When we say, what is the difference between prayer and meditation? Can anybody tell me? Charla?
Prayer is asking for what you want, and meditation is listening for the answers.
Correct. In meditation, what are we doing? We're quiet. We're doing nothing. We're trying to empty our mind, and we're receiving the messages that are most appropriate for us. But there's a lot of hindrance initially in the receiving, and because we're quiet, all of the stuff that's within us is bubbling up, and we're having to deal with that. That's why people run away from meditation, or when they heal, all of this stuff is let go of. So that is what you're kind of talking about. But again, I will go back to just saying, be still, accept what you want, have clarity in what you want, ask for it, and wait for it. And have patience. This is a game of patience.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Tina.
Any other questions, ladies?
I don't have a question specifically, but when we were doing the heart connections, I got a pain up in my jaw here. So I just want to know, does anyone have a toothache? Is anyone, I'm just kind of curious here what that's coming from. And And also, I'm just curious if you are in Kitchener and do you do one-on-one work?
I'm not in Kitchener. I'm in sort of Port Credit, Oakville area in Toronto. I'm a Mississauga actually. But I work with people all across the world. So this is a very big medium for me. And, you know, the people who are local come over to my office and they're very welcome. So yeah, one-on-one is my absolute heart and soul of the work, because then it's about you, everything about you, and you know, you can unfurl in a very sacred container. Wendy, did you say you have a toothache?
Allie, I don't have a toothache per se, but I have a very sore jaw. And I literally, right before this, I was doing my jaw, some massage work on my head and my jaw. So I don't know if that's what you were picking up or not, but there's a connection there for sure, because I was literally touching that part of my face today, because it's been a particularly sore day for me. In fact, I had a migraine this morning when I woke up, and so that's why I've been working on that. So that might be what you're what you're picking up, but the migraine is starting to disperse. So
Amazing.
Look at that. Fascinating.
If there are no more questions, I have an offer here for everybody, if you like. I could do a little bit of group healing. You just have to think about something that is bothering you, and yeah, I will tap into all of you and send you some clearing, send you some energy. If it's something that you all desire, I'm happy to do that.
Let's do it. Let's fix up Wendy's jaw.
There's somebody else. Karen is saying I had deep cleaning and it's sore. So we have two people with tooth issues. Okay. So please close your eyes, or you don't have to. I mean, you know, just be still. Think about something that you would like me to tap into and work on. And I will try to do that. I'll cleanse everybody's energy. I'll give you protection. Charge up your chakras. A lot of people with resistance, a lot of people with a lot of blocks. Somebody here with some blood issues. Anyone wants to share? Did they feel anything? See anything?
Well, you freaked me out because I'm your blood issues. So, yeah, that one kind of stopped me in my tracks.
I knew it was you though, Charlotte.
Yeah, that one, yeah, that got my attention, that's for sure.
Somebody has issues on the left side of their body, anything. Ali? Okay, there were a lot of things. There was what I call entities. So, right, like I was saying, when we go to different places, we collect these unhealthy energies that stick to us. And there were 20 to remove. So I'm not sure who they were on, but 20, there was a lot of resistance. There was a lot of really, really dense energies, and all of these people would be having a really hard time with all aspects of life, relationship, health, money, just happiness. It's really, it was a lot. It was hard to work because there was so much to clear. And
We're a mess, ladies. Look at us coming to the party with all of our stuff. Sorry, Ajita.
oh, Charla, it's
We're
our
just we're all just a train wreck and a mess, and we put it on your plate tonight. We're sorry about that.
No, it is my
Ajita need like a
joy and
shower
privilege.
after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Shower's not going to help. I'll have to do a lot of mumbo jumbo to kind
Yes,
of clean myself.
I'm
But
teasing. I'm sure there's way
I know.
more that needs to happen.
yeah, and it is very important for us to have these tools in our back pocket. I will give you a very, very simple thing that you can do tonight, and at any time that you go out, you meet people. Right hand, half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, close, make a fist. Standing, whatever, doesn't matter. Standing is better. Kind of start at your forehead and go down all the way to your feet. Bring your hand to the side. Don't bring it back up this way. Okay, so take this, go down, bring your hand like that, bring it back again. Do it 7 times. With salt, go to your washroom, wash your hand and let the salt drain. You will feel so much better. If you're having a fight with somebody and you can't understand why you're so annoyed, and this is magic, and it's so simple to do.
Ajita, do we do that every time we have a fight with somebody, or do we?
Yeah.
Just
You're gonna buy some shares in a salt company.
do it like you recommend, literally, like it's almost like you could do it as a daily ritual, just like cleanse the day. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sometimes we're in the company of very negative people. Sometimes, like I said, you go for groceries, you come back, you're just not feeling right. You start getting a headache. Anything that is unpleasant, do it. You can do it multiple times a day. You won't have to, but even if you need to do it every day, it's perfectly fine. It is no harm at all.
Regular salt, Himalayan salt, any particular, just all of the
Doesn't matter.
salts. Yeah.
Salt to salt. Yep. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Very
you.
well.
Yes, and I just had surgery on my left leg, so that's probably what you were picking up for me as well.
Okay.
On my left side. Yeah.
Okay, great. And how is your jaw feeling?
Better. My experience was I got very warm. I don't know if that was a hot flash or if it was like but literally it's a possibility, but like my whole body just kind of went warm as you were doing your process, and I just stayed with it, and it felt light, and it felt like it was like a healing warmth. It was good. I feel much better, actually. I have lots of muscle and issue things. So they think I now have fibromyalgia. So I that really was very helpful. So thank you very much.
Great. Yeah. And when I was tapping into everybody's energy, Ben, because it's collective, it was so, like, initially I just couldn't work with it. It was so bad. And, and there were outside influences of people that may have sent some evil eye and some, harsher stuff. So and then when I removed the collective, I have a term for it, but it's a very scary term, so I'm not going to use it here. But I'm glad I did. I was able to remove it. And I think a lot of you, like Wendy, and tomorrow, day after, you will feel better because I knew about your jaw. I kind of concentrated on that as well. You should feel a lot better. And a lot of you ladies should feel better because there was stuff that you were carrying that you should not have been carrying. And that has washed off. I've opened chakras. There's only that much you can do in a collective. There's only that much you can do in 5 minutes, but I still think it's going to be of great benefit. I worked on some of the blood stuff.
That's good. I have a bladder infection, and yeah, so it hasn't been fun. So I'll take any help I can get for sure.
So may I share a bladder story with you very quickly?
Sure.
So I have a client in Mumbai, right? And I've been working with her. So when I met her, she came to me because she was going through a divorce, and that's what she needed help with. But because my work is all holistic and I go into every aspect of human being, she shared with me, she says, I get a lot of UTIs, and the doctors have said that I have a smaller than normal bladder. So I can't drink a lot of water, especially when I travel, because then I have to go to the washroom a lot and I don't like it. So I was like, don't worry about it. There's no such thing as a small bladder. We'll fix it. No worries, right? So then she started chugging 2 liters of water a day. She did not have, because I worked with her for about 18 months. She had, her UTIs were gone, and she was feeling really brilliant. We worked on many things, and then she went to Bali, and she got a urinary tract infection, and there was some Balian healer that she wanted to try. So she went there, and she felt better for a day or so. And when she came back, she was in so much pain that she couldn't get up from the bed. She had this hot water bottle between her legs, and she could not pee. It took her 2 hours to pee once, and it was very, very painful. So, when it was her appointment, she showed up, and in the meantime, she had gone to a medical doctor, and they had given her, I have the name in my phone somewhere, a very long name for a condition that they diagnosed, and they said it was a nerve issue, and that there was no cure for it. They gave us some medication, and that was not working. So when we were having our appointment, she was really in a very bad way, and she was really crying. So I decided to do this long and very special healing for her that I don't normally do. I don't need to do it, but I decided, that's, again, the intuition said do it. And I had never done it remotely. I always have people come over here. So anyway, I got everything arranged. I did all of that. So it was Wednesday afternoon, Toronto time, when I did the healing for her. She woke up in the middle of the night, went to the washroom, no problem. She woke up in the morning on Thursday, sent me a message saying, as if I never had a problem. And that Friday, she had to go meet the doctor. She had an appointment. So she asked me, she said, should I go? And I'm like, I never interfere with the medical profession. You have an appointment, please go meet the doctor, say what they have to say. And the doctor couldn't understand that, I just saw you a few days ago and, what happened. And basically the doctor said, well, if it comes back, come back. And she said, you don't have a treatment for me. If I come back, how's that going to help me? But it was completely gone. In fact, there was this gentleman I was talking about with the 6 movies. She's his girlfriend, and I have a really nice, long 3.5-minute testimonial where he talks about, I mean, not specifically the issue, but he talks about this, and it was just gone. Fibromyalgia and all of these things, it depends on how you look at them. When we look at disease of any kind, that's why I say the source is at a much, much, much deeper level. And when we treat it there, it's gone. It doesn't matter. Autoimmune hepatitis, she's off all her meds. There was a guy with kidney disease. In fact, I did the same treatment for him because he was traveling. He was 30 years old, dying. It was his second kidney was dying. Did that. He's opened a Montessori and he's doing brilliantly well, had a baby. So, I'm sharing this because it's my life's mission to let people know that they do not need to suffer, that there are alternative solutions, that, the medical fraternity, and I come from a doctor's family, so I love medicine, I love doctors, but they've really got left behind. They're very good if you have trauma, if you have an accident, if you need surgery. Like I was talking about that lady, if I may very quickly, she was slated for, may I continue? Because I could talk.
Yeah, I'm good for a few more minutes. I have a Calgary meet and greet at 9, so that's where I got to be next.
Okay, 8:30. So I'll be quick. So this lady I had vaguely met at a luncheon somewhere. I did not know her. One Sunday, 8 p.m., I get a call. We don't answer the phone at 8 p.m. On a Sunday. I was out doing whatever. I came back, I was getting dinner ready, and something made me answer the phone. And this lady was bawling and howling on the phone. And I'm like, so she says, I'm in the hospital. I'm very ill. I have a massive kidney stone. I'm going to go into surgery tomorrow morning at 8. And both her kids were doctors. I would like you to stop the surgery. Yeah, Wendy. I thought that was just the maddest thing anybody could ever say to anybody. I'm like, firstly, you have a problem. You need the surgery. Please get it done. Right? Number 2, who the hell do you think I am? Think about it logically. You've got the OT, the surgeon, the anesthetist, the everything set up. Through the night, they'll come in the morning, they'll do your surgery. Like, how is a surgery going to be canceled? It is not possible, logically. And I'm like, that's a nutty request to make to me. Like, who the hell do you think I am? But she's like, no, crying, blah, blah, blah. So, me and my soft heart, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to pay her lip service and I will do the best I can and I'm going to leave it. So I said, okay, I'll do healing for you. Please wake up in the morning and send me a message. Told my husband, please go get food. I'm busy. Sat down, I spent an hour. I did whatever, went to bed. Woke up in the morning, no message from her. So I was like, okay. At about 10 o'clock, I sent her a message saying, excuse me, ma'am, where are you? And she goes, oh, I'm packing. I've been discharged. I'm going home. I'm like, did you have the surgery? She goes, no. It absolutely blew my mind. I'm like, what did they say? How does a doctor, I mean, forget about anything else. It's money for the doctor. Like, why would he cancel the surgery? And you need it. You have a problem. She said she was not very coherent. She says, I don't know. They said something. They spoke to my children, blah, blah, blah. They're sending me home with some morphine. That was 3 years ago. I went to her 60th birthday party and she's fine. Never went back into surgery, never complained. It was done. I mean, these are some crazy ones that, I have lots of crazy stories to share. 40 years, I have a big black book of interesting stories, but the craziest things are possible. Like this, I think, is one of the maddest things. Ali, go for it.
Yeah, just a quick question. How open do people have to be for you to clear blockages? Because I mean, I'm married, so, I'm very open to this. My husband is very slowly coming along. But as we are a team making decisions together, we need to both be clear so we can both move forward. So I'm just curious how that works if someone is being dragged into submission.
So may I give you an answer with an example? This TD thing I was talking about. So this person, he shares a wall. He has a gas station, a TD bank. And one day TD said, there's the gas is in our office. We're going to shut it down. And they obviously called the government, and the government was now trying to figure out what the smell was and what the fumes were, and he was going to be sued. So his wife got in touch with me and she goes, Ajita, we're going to lose every last bit. And they were like 65 years old, so it was their entire life's earnings. And she says, he does not believe in any of this stuff. Can you help us? So anyway, so this was a little different way of working, because normally what I like is I like the people to come. This gentleman, I said, don't worry. I told his wife, I said, I'll do the work and we'll see how it goes. Every test that was coming was clean. I worked on this whole case for 3 months, and TD came back, opened the office and the bank, and everything was fine. They did not know what the problem was. They did not know where the fumes came from. Like the government was involved. It was doing soil testing and it was doing all of the other tests that need to be done. And, TD is a really big sort of an organization. They have a lot of money and clout, and they just didn't know what happened. So to answer your question, Ali, it doesn't really matter. It's like I say, if you take a pill, whether you like it, don't like it, believe in it, don't believe in it, it will do its thing. Its energy is exactly like that. It's always helpful because it's a greater partnership if people come willingly, but most people are skeptical because they've not heard this kind of stuff. So they're like, whatever, this is some humbug. And majority of my business is a referral business. So somebody's heard from somebody and somebody's seen, but many people that come, I don't know what to expect. So it is not uncommon for me to be talking to people who are on the edge or not great believers, but they become believers at the end of it.
Brilliant. Awesome. Any other final questions, ladies? Comments, feedback? I know Tina said, thank you for all your wisdom. I'm inspired and learned so much. Looking forward to September 13th.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. Gosh, well, this was an incredible night. And look at all these little extra bonuses and stories and everything that we got. So yeah, I feel blessed that, for the ladies who are on here live to experience all this tonight, and for you to share this, Ajita. Like I said, it was an experience. Like, I don't feel like I was attending a webinar. I feel like it was just a whole experience. So yeah. So I'll send out this replay as well. And I had put the link in the comments for the September 13th event, but also if anybody does want to connect with you, Ajita, even for like an individual session, whether they want to travel to you in the Oakville area or to do things virtually, what's the best way to do that?
I could give you my telephone number.
There you go. You got the digits.
Let me get a pen. I'll be right back.
I do. It is Ajita Shah Healing. Sairan, am I saying it right?
Yes, correct. So it's like your name and last name, and with the last name, there's a healing, is one word, is all one word?
Correct. So it's Ajita Shah with an H and healing. So it's two H's. I don't know. I can't seem to put it in here.
I can type it in. Ajita Shah Healing
Wait.
at.
Yeah, it's at Ajita Shah Healing. So that's the Instagram.
Okay.
And I could give you my telephone number. It's 416-579-3700. And I wish all of you the very best. I hope you prosper. I hope you shine. And I hope you're all healthy and happy. Thank you very
Beautiful.
much for coming, attending, staying.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was an extraordinary night. I feel like I'm re-energized now for this Calgary call. Usually by 9 o'clock, I'm tapping out. So yeah, I'm good to go. Love it. Thank you.
Great, great. I would love to get feedback, if you would like to share how you're feeling, what you experienced over the next few days, just with the short healing. It would help. It just warms my heart. I love it if people benefit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a great night, ladies.
Thanks,
Bye,
Charlotte.
thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.